little behind schedule today. Monday morning, we had a busy weekend. We did our seminar here on the weekend. Seminar number 1. Thank you for everybody. Everybody who tuned in. The questions we got were great. We even had a question. It didn't so much as stump us, but it was so far out of left field. We had asked them to DM for further clarification, so that we could get an answer, and that's awesome. That's what it's all about. We're here to help you guys and have fun. So we're trying something new. We've got a chalkboard setup going on here. Pretty awesome. I actually think my art is better with a chalk board, but that isn't saying much. And yeah, so yeah, we're running a little behind. Everybody was a little bit slower this morning. Michael, who normally helps us with the IT, is off today. So Brandy and I had to do it all ourselves. Brandy killed it, of course. Poor Brandy wasn't having a good day, but I think her day is getting better now. Yes. So that's what it's all about. You guys know how I feel about Mondays, or if you don't, I'll tell you. Mondays are awesome. It's a whole new week, fresh opportunity. Yeah, it can be a little tough getting into it like we had today. Take it in stride. You know, a few bad minutes does not make a bad day. It makes a few bad minutes. There's a lot of minutes in the day. Hopefully they're not all bad, though we all have days like that. So anyway, you guys didn't tune in to hear my words of wisdom on a Monday. You tuned in for today's subject. So it is that season. It's annuals. We gave away the annuals last week. We asked, you know, what said spring to you guys more? Was it, you know, we've got a nice tomato here. Was it veggies or flowers? You guys picked flowers pretty resoundingly, which made me really, that's not very aesthetic to have on camera. That's my chalkboard eraser, by the way.
Yeah,
you guys,
I announced our winners.
Did you announce them?
Yeah, we announced them. So it was a huge congratulations to Megan on Instagram, who won the ranunculus, and then Nelly, who won the pansy.
Nice, congratulations, both of you. Oh, speaking of giveaways,
yeah.
You know what's an annual?
What?
Veggies. Do you know what grows veggies?
No.
Veggie pod.
Oh,
But
veggie pod.
I'm not saying anything more. I'm just thought I'd bring that up for now. So anyway, you guys picked flowers, which is a great segue into this week, where we're going to look at annuals. And what is an annual? So essentially, an annual, you know what? I drew all of this too big. I'm going to have to start erasing already. I didn't leave myself any room for expansion, is what I'm saying. An annual is any plant that goes through its whole life cycle in one season. And what I mean by that is you have a seed, okay? And then that seed goes and creates a seedling, okay? Then with the correct conditions, that seedling grows to be, I'm just using different colors. Look, Brandy got me a full chalk set. How awesome is she? Then that grows to be a full plant. And normally it will put out fruits or flowers. So this is obviously not a plant. Okay, then those turn back into a seed. So it does its full life cycle in one season. Starts growing from seed. By the time it gets to the end of the season, there's another seed to be planted next year. So that's all an annual is. It's one of the ones that you do have to replace every year. So, you know, when we think about it, we wonder, you know, well, what exactly is an annual in our climate? So we do have some indigenous annuals here. There's not a whole lot, but one of the most beautiful ones, I think anyway, I mean, obviously that is subjective, is the gladiator. And you see them on Nose Hill. There are tons of them. I believe a common name for them is also the goblin flower. They're kind of like that. They've got a mounded red center, and then orange. They're always in the orange, red, and yellow spectrum. And then they've got the long leaves, almost like an echinacea, that come off them. And they'll have stripes and variances in them. You might see some yellow, hugely popular with the pollinators. They are a native annual. So the native pollinators love them. And that is a very true annual. Now, there are also perennial versions of it. So,
move the pansy out of the way.
Move the pansy. Brandy's trying to give me cues now. I'm like,
no one can see your beautiful
yeah.
drawing.
I set the chalkboard up. I think I put it in the wrong spot. Hold on. We're adjusting on the fly. That's how organized we are without Michael.
Perfect. Looks good.
There we go. I'm back. So we have that, and there are a perennial version, but a lot of what you see is an annual. And all that means is it comes up, it goes to bloom. The bees, like I said, the local pollinators love it. They come, they pollinate it, it goes to seed, it dies, bam. Next year, another one comes up. So that's what it boils down to. And then we get into a few other plants that you guys might know. And the impatient and the New Guinea impatient. Now, they are annuals here. They aren't from here. They come from New Guinea. Surprise, surprise. Clue is kind of in the name of the New Guinea impatient. And they are phenomenal. I actually really love them. They're one of my favorite annuals. Now, we don't have any in yet. And the reason for that is because they are very, very frost sensitive, like zero frost. A cold rain might be too much for them. And what ends up happening is an important thing to notice about these, about the native ones like the Gladia, is that the seed and the seedling can survive our adverse conditions. So what ends up happening is the impatient, we have them in our flower bed and they look beautiful and we have them all season. The pollinators are coming in. Hey presto, wonderful. Then a frost hits, okay? And that's it, it's game over. Even a mild frost, anybody who's grown an impatient, a New Guinea impatient, is well aware of what a frost does to them. It's not like a mum or some of the sunflowers where you get like a little bit of life and they kind of look different. With a frost, it's game over. So those flowers that haven't deadheaded naturally or that you've cleaned off drop seed if they have been pollinated and they've gone to seed. Now the issue isn't whether or not that seed can live through the winter. It might very well be able to. It's cold, it's frozen, the seed is totally dormant. The reason, or one of the reasons, that we don't see a lot of flowers like that pop up is exactly what I just said. So it can go through a chill period, maybe it starts growing, maybe, and it sends out a shoot, but then we get hit by a frost. Well then, game over again. So that's dead. And as I said at the beginning, an annual life cycle, it didn't get a chance to live its full life cycle in one season. It was killed by an early frost before it got to this stage, but it never got to this stage. So without that, it can't replicate the seed that it came from. So that is the life cycle of an annual. And maybe we buy seeds and we grow our annuals from seeds. Maybe we buy them pre-grown, like the pansies that were in the way. These Bacopa, love Bacopa, those blues and whites. So what I would do personally, I would do something like that, and I'd put some of these around it to give that trailing effect, and then the blue. Isn't it funny, if you wore that as an outfit, people would be like green, purple, and orange, okay? But you put it there, and you put it on your front stoop, and people go, oh my God, that's beautiful. Nothing clashes in a garden. It's incredible. I love it. And then another one I love, this one does bloom. This one spreads mainly by putting out runners. And I always have to mention this one because of my wife, who I love. It's called Creeping Jenny. So Jenny is my wife. She's not creepy though. I don't think so. So I'll always mention those. But those are also annuals. Now, the funny thing is, and I know some of you have heard of this, are the hardiness zones. So right there, I'm holding this up to the camera. That's us right there in that lovely blue, whopping zone 3. How fantastic. The funny thing is about a New Guinea impatient and an impatient, and the reason I got this, is once you get into zone 10, so you can see down here, some of the southern states, definitely Central America, a lot of Northern Africa, but all down into Africa, Australia, not so much Sydney, the Gold Coast area there. But you can see a lot of the equator and around that area. New Guinea impatiens are actually perennials. And they can get up to 4.5 foot tall and wide and just be this monstrous blooming plant. Zero chance of that happening here. Yeah, you could try and keep it inside in a greenhouse, a botanical or horticultural garden. You might be able to. But the thing is that they are a perennial in their native land. We use them as an annual here. So that brings up the question of, you know, what is a true perennial? Oh, a true annual, sorry. And how do we identify it? Because the pansy, we know that that's an annual. But it drops its seed and it seeds 5. I think a lot of people have had pansies, hanging baskets, and then the next year they've got pansies growing up in their patio because the seeds came down. But even some pansies can be a perennial. So what it boils down to, here's one you'll recognize. That is a true annual. Tomato plant, the zinnia, marigold, watermelon, cucumber, all true annuals, which means it does not matter where it is. You can plant that tomato anywhere on that map. Does not matter. You can plant it here in Australia. You can scooch over to Africa. We can do it there. I'm looking at this map backwards through here, so it's a little difficult for me. I'm kind of guessing. But we can go over here, Eastern Europe, into like the Ukraine area. You can put it there. And we can even come to Calgary and put it there. It's going to grow great in the summer, but it doesn't matter what conditions you've got. It is only going to live for a year, and then it's going to be done. But during that year, it will go through its cycle, and it will produce. So that is what an annual essentially does. The purpose of them, why they bloom the size they do, why annuals are renowned for the prolific colors and blooms and just how vibrant they are. Well, one of the reasons, again, is this life cycle. If they get to this stage here and they don't get pollinated, they don't get to this stage. So putting out a massive, showy, bright, big flower attracts the pollinators. You're a bee, you're flying along, you're a hungry bee, you're looking for something to eat. Which one is going to stand out? Okay, it's definitely the pansy. It's brighter, it's bigger. Now, I'm not saying this isn't going to stand out. It does, but this one here. So this compensates by putting out way more flowers and trailing them down. Their entire purpose is pollination to complete the cycle. Same with your tomato. Puts out a tiny flower. We don't care about that. That flower gets pollinated. What happens? The fruit. What is the fruit? It's a seed. Okay? So that is the purpose. That is what an annual is in a nutshell. I'm going to make sure Brandy gets a copy of this image. We can post it. Mainly just informative. I'm trying to kind of look around and see some different areas. Get jealous of people like my friends in Australia. I love them deeply. But that wraps us up. So I hope everybody has a great Monday. Our Monday is definitely going to get better. This always lifts us. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Tuesday edition of GAKidsTV. Bye, everyone.